Yeah. Hey guys, welcome to Soccer Podcast. It's your host, as always, the exceptional, the one and only Mohammed Edin, aka Cantona. Yeah, welcome back. So today we're gonna be talking about the FPL. Those who don't know the FPL, this is the Fantasy Premier League. But before that, feel free to like, comment, subscribe on our YouTube channel, that is Soccer Podcast, and also on Spotify. There's a link in the description. I'm also going to be sharing an invitational code for the official Soccer Podcast League, the FPL League. Yeah, where we'll be battling it out, and where if we at the end of the season, if we get a winner, the top 4 teams will be rewarded. But if you're a new listener, welcome. Feel right at home. My regular viewers, I appreciate the love and support. This is the first FPL draft podcast as we near the beginning of the Premier League season with about a week remaining. No, actually it's a few days remaining. I'll show you how to win the FPL mini leagues and beat your friends, even if I've never really topped those leagues. Yeah. So I'm going to be co-hosting alongside some new faces, or rather voices, as we continue the season. So feel free to comment if you'd like to participate, or email or DM me across various social platforms. Today we're going to be discussing who to buy, how to create a team that will perform week in and week out. Personally for me, this is my 5th season playing the FPL, and honestly last season was the worst. I managed to get the lowest points, just above the 2,000 point mark. So I'll be looking to upping my game this season, and avoid previous mistakes. So I have already created my team. I'll be looking forward to updating the team each week, because one of the things that made me fail last season was you find that you have a game and you forget to update the team. So yeah, I know most of you faced that too, so yeah. No excuses though. So I'm sure I'll be changing some players. I already have a team ready, but I'm sure by the it's only 4 days remaining till the start of the EPL. So I'm sure in those 4 days I'll be changing the lineup. Probably bring in one player, sell the other, because obviously there are new transfers coming in and also injuries. And I don't know, there's some players who impressed me during the preseason, and others didn't. So I'll be obviously looking into that. Okay, let's talk about the star player you can't resist. First of all, we'll have to look at this team-wise. Let's look at the top 6 teams. We have Manchester City. Who's that one player you can't resist at Manchester City? You should be asking yourself that. So for me, it's Kevin De Bruyne. Because he can bang in the goals and he brings in the assists. Man City will win 1-0. You'll find it's either Kevin De Bruyne goal or assist, or he played a huge impact in bringing up the goal. If they score 6-0, you're going to find a few goals, a few assists there of Kevin De Bruyne. So he's the one player I can't ignore at Man City. When we head to Liverpool obviously we had Sadio Mane and Mohamed Salah. I had the 2 players last season, but since Sadio Mane moved to Bayern, I'll be looking forward to having Mohamed Salah. Liverpool wise, you can also invest in their defense, because Trent Alexander and the Robertson, they whip in crosses all the time, so a few assists for them as the season ends. We have the likes of Jota, we have other players at Liverpool, but honestly speaking, Mohamed Salah stands out for me. So the next team we can look at is Chelsea. I'd bring in N'Golo Kante, but he can't rack up those assists for me. So I'll be looking at Kai Havertz or Mason Mount, those 2. And actually, I had Rudiger too last season, but he's moved to Real Madrid. So I'll be looking to bring in maybe James. If I was looking for someone who's gonna give me assists at Chelsea, it's either gonna be James or Chilwell. But sadly, Chilwell is an injury-prone player, so I wouldn't go much onto that side. The other team we have is Manchester United, the Red Devils. Honestly, I can't go for their defense. I'd go for the goalkeeper because he can rack up points with those saves, but I know a clean sheet is so hard to find at Manchester United, especially at Old Trafford. So with Manchester United, I go for their midfielders. We have Bruno Fernandes. He's a good player. He's a top player, but last season he had 10 goals and 14 assists. Or was it the other way around? Okay, something like that. But he was a good player last season, even though it was his lowest performing season. So I'll be looking to bring in Bruno Fernandes and Jadon Sancho, because of Erik Ten Hag. He's really improved the player personally. So I'll be looking more from him. Let's go Tottenham. At Tottenham, I could go for Ivan Perisic, a 5.5 million defender. He's cheap and he can play at right back, left back, and he's a wing back actually. So he won't be doing most of the defending. He'll be more of attacking. And who else? Harry Kane. Oh, how can I forget Harry Kane? Wow, that's a prolific striker. We have Son, Heung-min Son, and he's a good player. Actually, Son can rack up points for you. So between Kane and Son, if you're looking for an attacker, go for Kane. If you're looking for a midfielder, go for Son. And then we're gonna look at Arsenal. Arsenal-wise, first of all, without thinking even twice, I'd go for. We have Saka. He's cheap. He's 8 million. Last season he was 6 million, but this season is 8 million. Definitely Saka. I'd have Saka in my team. Who else? We have Odegaard. Odegaard is their captain. He's their new captain, and definitely he's going to be playing so many games for them. And he's a creative player. He can score. He can assist. We have Jesus from Manchester City actually. So with Jesus, I actually saw recently in fantasy we have 63% of all players playing the FPL have Jesus. Not because of his goal scoring opportunities only. He's a little striker, but he also has a point to prove. And actually, he's the main striker at Arsenal right now, so I'm sure he'll be playing most of the games, almost 90 minutes. And in the preseason, recently he just scored a hat-trick against Sevilla. He has 6 goals this preseason, so I wasn't gonna buy him because I didn't think he would perform. He had 8 goals last season, but I'm in two minds because I actually feel he should be my main striker in the fantasy. So who else at Arsenal? We have Zinchenko too from Manchester City. He can whip it in, and I'm sure he's going to start all the games if he's fit, because he's their main player. He's their main left back right now. Chenry is out with injury. So I'd go for goalkeeper Ramsdale, but the clean sheet section isn't that good. So but with goalkeeping, I'd go for Alisson and Ederson only, because those are players who you're sure will give you clean sheets. Not because they face a lot of shots in the game. No, it's just because they have a tight defense in front of them. So that's it. I think those are the players I can go for. And we have to discuss the position that one should invest in, mostly because we have players, managers who mostly invest. Fantasy Premier League managers, not the real managers, because they don't play the fantasy maybe. So with the fantasy Premier League managers, most of them, there are others who go for the goalkeepers, who mostly invest in goalkeepers. There are others who mostly invest in defenders, midfielders, strikers. So with me, I invest heavily in goalkeeping, because there are some cheap goalkeepers who can give me points, yes, but who are those who will give me most clean sheets? Like Ederson, Alisson, you're sure of 15 plus clean sheets each season. So those are points. There are other managers who invest in their defense. Defense-wise, you will have people going for Trent Alexander, Robertson, Virgil van Dijk. I'm just naming Liverpool defenders. There's Diaz, Cancelo, those expensive defenders. They'll give you points, but if you just have to know, once you invest heavily in the defense, you'll have to limit your input in the midfield and attacking. So for me, I usually go for 4.5 million defenders. You'll have the likes of Malacia, you'll have the likes of Lamptey, you'll have the likes of Cucurella. I'm not sure about Cucurella because he's going to Man City, but I definitely need to have him, even if he goes to Man City. We have the likes of Cash. We have the likes. We have so many defenders, but I'd advise you not to go for any centre back. Yeah, you should concentrate mostly on the fullbacks, because fullbacks will give you crosses. Fullbacks will be attacking. Okay, a centre back will give you a goal, but it's rare. It's too rare for centre back to give you a goal as it is for a fullback to give you an assist. You get right. Others will invest in midfield. As like me, I invest in goalkeeping. Goalkeeping is just 2 players, so it's not like I'll use a lot of money. But I usually mostly invest in midfield, because in midfield you'll have the likes of Kevin De Bruyne, you'll have the likes of Mohamed Salah, you'll have the likes of Bruno Fernandes. So I mostly invest in that. I'll have Son, I'll have Salah, I'll have Saka there, I'll have who else? Sancho, I'll have Rashford, and most wingers, attackers are usually midfielders, so that's an advantage, because you'll get them scoring goals more than strikers. And if a midfielder scores a goal, it's actually higher points than a forward. So yeah, a defender too. If a defender scores, it's more points than a midfielder or an attacker. But still, you have to consider the aspect of the midfield. So if you go for cheap midfielders, what's your goal? What's your ambition in the FPL? You'll have to go for strikers who are more expensive. You get, because you'll have more money to spend. You're usually given 100 million budget, so you have to buy 15 players from that. So when you go for attackers, who do you have? We have cheap attackers. We have the likes of Taylor from Nottingham Forest, 4.5 million. We have the likes of Mitrovic, Alvarez, the new player from Man City, 6.5. Mitrovic is 6.5. We have Anthony Martial 7, Antonio 7.5. We have Havertz at 8. We have so many players ranging there, but we have those top strikers. We are talking about Harry Kane. We're talking about Erling Haaland. We're talking about Cristiano Ronaldo. We have those top players, but they have a hefty price tag. What do you need to do? You either choose one prolific striker and other cheap strikers. That is if you don't have enough money. But if you went for the option of a cheap midfield, a cheap defense, you have a lot of money to spend, so you can splash it around, and like which team doesn't splash around money? Is it United? United bought Maguire. So I would go for Arsenal, but they bought Pepe. I'd go for Chelsea, but they bought Lukaku. I'd go for Manchester City, but they bought Grealish. I'd go for Liverpool, but they bought Darwin Núñez. So yeah, I would go, but in my team, I think I have Harry Kane and Jesus right now. No, I haven't bought in Jesus, but I will buy him. I think I will change that lineup. I'll get Jesus for myself, because if I have someone like Harry Kane and Gabriel Jesus up front, I'm so sure I'll be backing in points. I wanted to buy Haaland. I had a debate between Kane and Haaland. Okay, they're both at 11.5 million, but Haaland. Okay, yesterday. Okay, let's put the story of Haaland aside a bit. Yesterday we had the Community Shield where Liverpool won 3-1 against Manchester City, and we saw a little glimpse of Haaland. Not a little. We saw him like majority of the game missing, but it's all right. But we saw what Núñez can do. Núñez scored. Well, I'm not yet confident with Núñez and Haaland. That's why I brought the topic of the Community Shield. Yeah, congratulations to Liverpool. I'm not yet confident with them. They're new players in the league, in the APL. But so I'm going to stick with our old boy, who is an APL legend, Harry Kane. I'm gonna give Harry Kane that captain armband. Him or Mohamed Salah too. Because you have to consider the captain too. The captain racks in points for you. So in a week, you'll find you and most people, you don't have a lot of difference, but the difference comes to the captain. You'll find someone has a captain who racked in a goal and an assist, and your captain didn't give you shit. So you'll just have your 0 points there, and he has his point. And okay, you'll find a team, most of the players didn't perform, but the captain performed, and someone gave him the triple captain. You get, because sometimes you'll find a defender from Bournemouth will score 2 goals and nobody had him, except a few people, of course. And you'll find there's that one crazy person who triple captain that guy, and he's gonna lead that week. Okay, not majorly on the overall points, but most garnered points that week, and that's a huge boost, Yeah, because last season I think I used mine on Mohamed Salah and he scored a hat-trick, so I was totally okay. He gave me 84 fucking points just from one player. I think that week I racked 120 points. Yeah, so like 40 points for the rest of the 10 players, and Salah gave me 84. Anyway, so let's look at we didn't finish in the investing. Let's consider the subs, because we are through with the forwards. You can choose a highly priced tag attacker if you have enough money. But let's look at the subs, because you're picking 15 players. Those are 11. The rest 4, the other 4, who should you put there? I see most people going for players who rarely play, cheap players who rarely play, and then they invest everything in their first 11. But that's a good option, but it's a wrong option. It's a good and wrong option. You get, it's not necessarily it's supposed to be good so you will perform. No, it's good, but it's wrong, because you have to invest equally. You'll find someone in the first 11 didn't play. It reminds me of Pep Guardiola. I used to buy Sterling, I used to buy Kevin De Bruyne, and that day you'll find he'll rest Sterling and KDB and put in Foden and the likes of Bernardo, who I didn't have. If the next week I go for Foden, he'll decide, let me bench Foden and put Kevin De Bruyne inside. Yeah, and that's bullshit. I don't want that shit in my fantasy. It's gonna get me stressed, and nothing stresses me as much as the FPL. So yeah, you should go for subs who are cheap. Okay, I'd advise you to go for cheap players, but cheap players who perform. So go for cheap players who play for other teams, Don't go for cheap players who are from big teams, because they'll necessarily not play. Anyway, so into the next topic. Who's that underrated player you feel you can have an impact? I've seen most people going for Jesse Lingard, who's been good. He went out on loan from Manchester United to West Ham and he scored. He came back to United, didn't perform well. Now he's playing for Nottingham Forest. He was sold to Nottingham. People have been going for him. People have been lining up for Andres Pereira. Actually, he's from Man United too, and right now he's in Fulham. He's 4.5 million. I'm sure he's going to be playing a lot of the games, and he's a good player. He's going to rack in points. Not necessarily as Mohamed Salah, but yeah. But for me, honestly, if there's one underrated player that I feel can have an impact, it's going to be It's going to be Taylor from Nottingham Forest. I honestly believe in that player. He's a good player. Last season he had some goals, assists under his name, under his belt. And coming into this new season, it's going to be tougher for him. I know it's the APL, but I feel he can have an impact. I think that's all for today. The other point was just Jesus. I feel he's going to thrive at Arsenal, so I don't blame the 63.something% who have him in their FPL, because I think I'm gonna be joining the gang real soon. Jesus is an exceptional player. So I don't know. You guys tell me about your teams. Send me your screenshots of your teams. I need to counter check some things too. Necessarily I'm appointed, but it doesn't mean I'm always right. Yeah, so guys, that's all for today. That's all. We were talking about the Fantasy Premier League. The code, I'm gonna be sharing it with you. It's in the description too. I'm gonna highlight it under the comments so that you guys can join and enjoy yourselves. Welcome to Soccer Podcast, and I'm out.